When the power grid fails across an entire region, the first reaction is disbelief. Lights go out, screens go dark, traffic signals stop working. For a moment, it feels temporary, an inconvenience, something that will be fixed within hours. But what actually begins is something far more serious. It is not chaos at first. It is exposure. Exposure of how dependent modern life is on continuous electricity. In the first few hours, communication becomes unstable. Cell towers do not shut down immediately. Most have backup batteries, and some have generators. But the real weakness is not power loss. It is demand. Millions of people attempt to call family, check updates, and search for information at the same time. Networks overload. Calls fail. Messages delay. Data slows to the point of uselessness. Internet infrastructure relies on powered routing systems, and as those systems begin to drop, entire neighborhoods lose connectivity unevenly. Information becomes fragmented. One area hears updates, another hears nothing. And in that gap, confusion begins to grow. As communication weakens, the second system starts to strain: water distribution. Most people assume water simply flows, but in reality, it is constantly moved and pressurized by electric pumps. Without power, those pumps rely on backup systems, and once those systems fail, pressure begins to drop. Faucets sputter. Toilets stop refilling. High-rise buildings lose water first because vertical distribution depends entirely on powered systems. Even where water still exists in the system, it becomes unreliable. Within the first day, sanitation starts becoming a concern, not because water is gone, but because it is no longer consistent. By the second day, food access begins to break down. Grocery stores are not warehouses filled with supplies. They operate on just-in-time logistics, meaning inventory is constantly moving. When transportation slows and panic buying begins, shelves empty rapidly. At the same time, electronic payment systems often fail without stable power, making transactions difficult or impossible. Refrigerated goods begin to warm, and within hours, perishable food starts to spoil. The problem is not production. Food still exists. The problem is access, and access disappears quickly. Then comes fuel. Gas stations depend on electricity to pump fuel from underground tanks. Even if those tanks are full, fuel cannot be accessed without functioning systems. Some stations have backup generators, but many do not. Lines begin forming as people try to secure what they can. Traffic increases. Movement slows. Emergency vehicles compete with civilians. Fuel is not just transportation. It powers backup systems for hospitals, water facilities, and communication infrastructure. Once fuel access is disrupted, multiple systems begin running on limited time. But the most unpredictable system to destabilize is human behavior. As uncertainty increases, sleep decreases. Stress rises. People begin acting on incomplete or incorrect information. Small problems escalate into larger conflicts. Resources are consumed faster, not because they are needed, but because they are feared to be scarce. This behavioral shift accelerates every other failure. It turns strain into collapse. A total blackout does not instantly destroy a city. What it does is remove the invisible structure holding everything together. Communication, water, food, fuel, and behavior are all interconnected. When one weakens, the others follow. The first 72 hours are not about destruction. They are about realization of how fragile the system really is. And in that window, preparation is the only factor that separates stability from panic. Preparation is your only advantage.